Now, before we bring out our next guest, let's play a brief video to learn more about RBI Austin.
My name is Kat Osterman. I'm a pitcher, and I am playing for RBI Austin. RBI is important to me because I have been on the board for 6 years, and as an athlete, especially a female athlete, don't have the monetary means to donate as much as I want, and being able to use this endeavor to help financially benefit them, but also get awareness out for our organization is something that I'm super excited about, and it's just been an organization that's been close to my heart as we get some of the girls from the inner city participating in softball.
All right, perfect. And with that, let's begin our Athletes Unlimited fireside chat with a focus on athlete causes. Please welcome Kat Osterman, Olympian athlete. She recently took the title as Athletes Unlimited softball champion. Kat serves on the board of directors for RBI Austin, which you just learned about. And Matt Price, founder and executive director of RBI Austin, a nonprofit organization that seeks to engage and develop inner city Austin youth. So welcome to both of them. Very happy to have you both. Kat, cool to see you on my screen. I just saw you in the video. That was fast.
Change of clothes and a new location.
Well, look, it's magic. We're making magic happen. Well, nice to see you both. Matt, I'll start with you. I know we saw in the video with Kat, but please tell us more about RBI Austin. What is your mission and how are you involved in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having us today. RBI Austin, our mission is to engage and develop inner city Austin youth athletically, academically, and spiritually to empower them to be leaders in their community. And so we talk about the fact that our mission is not baseball and softball, but baseball and softball is the means to developing these youth into leaders in their community, to seek transformation of their community. And you know, for us, we really believe the greatest need for any kid is relationships, first and foremost, and relationships with people and a relationship with God. And we, you know, everything we do is kind of geared towards how do we get kids into that community of support that will equip them for success in life and to be leaders in their community, ultimately are coming back and leading their community and investing back where they grew up. So we started with about 15 kids in 2009. We now serve about 1,500 kids annually, and it's been people like Kat and many others from the community who have helped make it a success these first 10 years.
Yeah, so then Kat, how did you get involved with RBI Austin?
Yeah, so about 6 years ago, I had actually come home from playing a professional softball season, and a friend of mine from college, Amanda Jackson, was actually working for RBI, and she reached out and was kind of explaining what RBI was. I knew I had heard of it a little bit because obviously it's linked to MLB, but she sat down and, you know, got me to pin down a lunch date with Matt, and he basically told me that they had the baseball foundation, but they wanted to add softball and include girls in the program. And being from Texas, but obviously having played in Austin for college, he was like, we think there's no one better than you to help us introduce softball and get us going. And I was truly excited. And I think every year that comes, I come up with some more ideas and try to get our softball program kind of stepping and getting hopefully as advanced as our baseball program is. But, you know, Matt asked me to be included and just help softball get included, first of all. But then as a board member, I've started to learn more and more over the years and becoming more active in the organization. And so, you know, it's just easy for me anytime softball is included in something to be able to say, yes, I'll help. But then I've also always had a soft spot for helping kids. My mom was an educator all growing up. I would go up and help her classrooms and stuff. And I've always just wanted to see kids succeed. So this was an easy partnership for me to jump in on, you know, 6 years ago, and we're still going strong.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's amazing that you guys connected and clearly very meant to be. So Matt, I kind of want to hear more about, you know, based on your experiences, how are the families involved with RBI Austin, whether as mentors, coaches, young players, you know, how have they been impacted by their experiences with the organization? And do you think that it impacts their engagement in their community long term?
Yeah, great question. And we've seen so many cool success stories over the years. When we first started, we had a group of about 15 high schoolers that were in the program, and then realized, hey, we really need to give kids at a younger age the opportunity to be part of a program like this and play sports and be mentored. And so we started with younger kids. And what was cool when we did that is we went down to the 4, 5, 6-year-olds and said, let's build it up from there. And it really became a family partnership where families came in together and they started inviting their cousins and friends and neighbors, and it really became a very community-based program. And it is mutually transforming, right? You have the coaches and the mentors and the kids and the parents and the families, and we've had, for sure, some great success stories with our kids. But then you start talking about the adults and the coaches and mentors and parents. And we had a couple of years ago, there was a couple in our program, and they said that them being involved with their kid in RBI saved their marriage. The community it brought, the way it brought their family together, it saved their marriage. And so things like that, where you say, how in the world, this is, baseball and softball, shouldn't be able to do that. But again, it's about the relationships for us. And can you give a place for people to have that sense of belonging and come together and grow together? And that's what we've seen. And then as far as our kids, we've seen more and more kids now that are coming back to serve as they get older. And now they're becoming the coaches, or they're interning for us in the summer and being involved in different ways. So it's very much community-based, family-based, relationship-based.
That's great, and it feels like this is a place that really nurtures athletes' voices, wants them to become better. So, Kat, in the broad scope, what role do you think that sports leagues play in amplifying and empowering athlete voices? And where do you feel they can maybe improve in that department?
I think as athletes, our leagues and our professional platforms are where we're seen the most. So I think for us, when you see leagues being able to allow their athletes to use their voice, as the WNBA did this year, as Athletes Unlimited allowed us to, you see the voices and the causes and just what they stand for being amplified. It shows the other side of who we are as athletes, to be honest. I think you get a lot of people that want to tell you to stick to sports, but we're humans. We're people. We have beliefs. We have things that are important to us that we think we should be able to share. And so I think the leagues give us that opportunity. I think it's becoming more increasingly popular to allow us to talk about those things and share those things kind of unbridled now, and just, off the cuff and not so controlled and regulated. And I think hopefully the biggest improvement is allowing us to continue to do that, whether it's patches on your jersey, or as Jazz mentioned in the first talk, the sticker on the back of the helmet, something like that, to be able to continue to work for your cause or your stand on certain things. And so I think as athletes, it's great that we have a platform to be able to speak up and educate people on things that are important to us. You heard in my video, the RBI is very dear to my heart, and I've tried to do as much as I can with the time that I have. And so now this was a different opportunity for me to financially be able to contribute. And I think Athletes Unlimited did that. And that's the other area where I hope at some point leagues can get to, is to where maybe certain bonuses can be tied to an athlete's cause, as opposed to just allowing them to talk about it. Because I do know on the female athlete side, especially, Houston Street and I graduated college at the same time. We're both board members at RBI. He has the means to donate $1 million to RBI. I just don't have that means. I donate 1 million minutes if I can. But, financially, to finally be able to contribute was a big thing for me.
Yeah. Well, hold on. That was a great answer. Woo! No, that was a really perfect answer. No, thank you for elaborating on that so deeply in it. And it resonated with me a lot. So I'm so happy that, RBI Austin has you there with them to be a role model, to help empower them. Absolutely. I have a question from the audience. I believe it's for both of you. Do you think players at all levels should be doing this? What about school-age kids in their leagues? How can they stand up for causes? Should they stand up for causes?
I think athletes at any age, really, if you're educated and knowledgeable about the cause and the stance you're taking, then I don't think there should be anything that thwarts your voice to be able to share that. Part of our, just our society in general is being able to agree to disagree sometimes, to be able to educate each other. And I think anyone that has a position to be able to share their knowledge, share their stance, share their views, should have a safe space to do that. And, I feel like sport is one of those places to where we are able to do that. And I encourage all athletes to be able to use their environment, their teams, their leagues to be able to cultivate conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, and Taylor, I would say from my end, some of the people I have learned from the most during 2020 on everything from COVID to racial justice to you name it, are some of our young RBI Austin athletes, and having conversations with them and hearing their stories and listening to their perspective on things. I've learned so incredibly much. I think young athletes absolutely have a voice in this and need to have a voice. And I think we as adults and leaders, we need to figure out how can we help those young people get their voice out there and learn from them, because they are the future leaders of our society. So we need to be listening to them too.
For sure. I have one last question, a very important question. I'll start with you, Matt. How can people support your organization?
Yeah, great question. One thing that COVID-19 has brought about, it's revealed some of the inequities that have existed for a long time, but it's really accentuated some of them. And so for the community that we serve, a lot of our students are lacking the technology to do their school online right now. And so one thing that's a need for us are actually laptop donations. And if people have access, whether it's through a relationship with a vendor or want to donate money towards our laptop fund, that's a need. You can go to rbiaustin.org/give, and there'll be some contact info on there on how to do that. For those who happen to be local to the Austin areas, we have a lot of volunteer opportunities, coaching, mentoring, and other avenues. But we're really trying, especially during this year, to support our kids in some ways that traditionally we haven't, but that are big needs right now for the kids we serve.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, both of you are doing such important work together. I am happy to see it. This is another one of those things that just fills me with so much hope. So please continue keeping great people. And thank you so much for joining this fireside chat.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Taylor.
Absolutely. Bye.